Talk-16. Everything occurs only in illusion. Why do you ask about that which has never happened? Yet I shall tell you something so that there is no room for doubt. Many people feel that they should do something to acquire true spiritual knowledge. But what remedy does the Master prescribe for the disciple to acquire knowledge? A man is healthy and he asks the doctor how his disease can be cured. What can be said about that? Then he asks the same to the chief of the village and to the lawyer and many others, and all of them say, "You have become stout." Then he thinks, what could be the reason that I have become stout? So he asks the doctor, and the doctor feels his pulse and says, "What can I say to him? He has no disease, so it cannot be diagnosed." Then he meets someone wise, like me, who tells him, "You are affected by a terrible disease." What else can I say? Pursuing Paramartha, supreme truth, is similar to the example given above. People started doing something because they must act. People also say, "You have become a jiva, an individual being." So just brush it off and say, nothing has happened. For truly nothing has happened. Let your understanding be like this and become absolutely free. Can there be any talk of that which never existed? You all say "I," and it is this very thing that creates your idea of mine. There is one and only one truth. You see, when you say, "My hand is hurting," that you are not your hand. Knowledge is for learning what you have heard. One must know God as He is, and then there is nothing left to achieve. When you understand the true meaning, then nothing is left to be done. So to understand truth, illusion or Maya has to be destroyed. People start making efforts to conquer Maya, but she has many tricks. Maya resides in one who says he has conquered her. How should this illusion be tackled? And what has to be done after one becomes a jnani, a realized one? If you ask this, the answer is, you have to do nothing regarding the body, or your household, or any such things. Let them be as they are. Suppose that while you were asleep, you had a dream where you met a bear while walking on a road. You wrestled with it, and you sat on its chest and even killed it. The moment you awoke, there was no bear. There was nothing. In a similar way, to feel I am a jnani, I am a saint, I am an aspirant, or I am after spiritual knowledge, is all delusion. To feel that God comes and God goes away is only illusion. Our concept is the bear in the form of Maya. Sometimes it makes you fall, and at other times you make it fall. So the Master's advice is, why do you meddle in this? All this chaos is the chaos of illusion. So let the objects be wherever they are. If you try to manage affairs, you forget the Mula Purusha, the primordial being. Doership rests in Maya and non-doership in Brahman. The aspirants always think of that which is untrue and say, "What shall I do, Maharaj?" The Guru tells him not to sniff tobacco, and so the disciple's reaction is to put his nose into the box containing tobacco. You say that all is false, yet you indulge in it. There are only two things in the world: worldly existence and Brahman. To take interest in what has happened is to get involved in worldly affairs. If you abandon all of these, true knowledge will dawn. This is why a man gets caught in bondage. Jivahood is to involve the mind in the objective world, and Godhood is to do nothing. God is in the temple, and lying outside are rocks. Why should the God inside value the rocks of the objective world? For God is the self, and to live among stones is called jivahood. Saint Tukaram says, "This God is most ancient. The self is first, prior to all. He who has understood that the Supreme Being, Param Atman, who is prior to all, while sitting in this body, is a Jnani. Leaving this God alone, people think of doing good or bad, and that is illusion for the jiva. Maya makes man knowledgeable and a narrator of the Vedas, and makes him play this worldly game. If a thing is good, it is good. If it is bad, it is bad. If one is wealthy, he is wealthy. And if one is poor, he is poor. For who is the real aspirant? The one who has understood that illusion is nothing. However much you may have wrestled with the bear in the dream, it is all still false. But illusion does not want the aspirant to be victorious. The concept of I and you is delusion, as is the concept of aspirant. Even the idea that I am God is a delusion. The entire world itself is rooted in delusion. I am God is a delusion. If I and you are gods, then why should there be any supposition or assertion? As told just now, abandon everything. Ignorant people start beating symbols for worship. This knowledge is actually ignorance. Hence, even this knowledge is not of true value. Knowledge destroys ignorance. The jiva, playing as an individual, is the one who dabbles in illusion. So just do nothing. The aspirant is tortured with always the repetitive thought, you must do this, you must do that. All this Maya is only to fool him. Maya has long horns on her head. If one supersedes her, she gores him, and if one falls behind, she kicks him. Thus, the key to transcending illusion lies in just doing nothing. That is, not becoming involved in objectivity. All happiness and misery, worry and anxiety only appear in illusion. You have to do nothing. You have to abandon nothing. All this action and non-action is illusion. This is what Saint Ramdas has said in the Daspod. So those who have understood this illusion may dance wildly. Maya is dreamlike. If you wrestle with a bear in the dream, your victory or defeat is irrelevant. So it is said that Maya is unconquerable, even for the gods Brahma and Vishnu and Shiva, and for those that take it to be true. Vishnu said, I shall protect them. So he became a four-handed god. This is illusion. All are engrossed in this illusion. A barren woman's son said that he held a torch at Maruti or Hanuman's wedding, and Hanuman is celibate. This world in the form of Maya is just as fictitious. Those who say they have conquered illusion are thoroughly deceived. The devotees of God do not experience the happiness or misery arising from Maya. The true aspirant's glory is small, but it is higher than that of the gods Vishnu and Shiva. The reason is that he has understood all to be untrue. There is no action, cause, or doership. Wherever there is a feeling of cause and effect, it is due to the feeling, I am Brahman. This feeling is the effect, and the jiva, or ignorance, is the cause. When you feel you are not Brahman, you become a jiva. When you feel you are neither jiva nor Shiva, you become the absolute reality, Para Brahman. The jiva, or individual, as good or bad, are all signs of delusion, of the nature of Prakriti, or the manifest world. All this is a game of blind man's bluff. He is the one who covers the player's eyes, hence he is not part of the play. And he blindfolds the participants but once. Both knowledge and ignorance are of the nature of Prakriti. This itself is called delusion. Who expounds the scriptures and who gives knowledge? Chanting and penance, all the various practices and study, are all the mesmeric activities of Maya. You cross over Prakriti, the manifest world, only when you are free from all duties. These are all matters at the initial stage. As long as there is knowledge, there is delusion. Leave off whatever you suppose you are. Leave off means do not dabble in anything. Continue your worship. I am the self, I am Brahman, I am not the body, I am not so-and-so. The one who is speaking inside is I, and he is God. Be convinced of that. There was a princess who wanted to marry a lazy man. Accordingly, an announcement was made in every village. Prospective suitors claiming to be lazy soon arrived. The princess wanted to ascertain the validity of their claims. Some people pretended laziness by arriving to the town seated on other people's shoulders. Others feigned silence in support of their claim. Yet others decided not to use their hands for eating food. There were as many pretensions of laziness as there were suitors. The princess rejected them all. But there was one shrewd fellow. He simply informed the princess that he had come to get married to her. The princess asked, "How can you prove that you are lazy?" He replied that he had come to get married only because he was lazy, and said, "All the others are merely pretending. They are only actors. They aren't truly lazy." Maintaining silence, not to walk, not to eat with one's own hands, are all only external actions meant to deceive. The truly lazy person cannot be traced through such pretension. The really lazy person is lazy by nature. In a similar way, for the Jnani, it is absolutely self-evident that he is Brahman. The true mark of a saint is taking the world to be untrue. Maya is also untrue. If it is not understood that all is of the nature of Prakriti, manifest nature, full of illusion, then one cannot get married to the princess. Lazy does not mean one who abandons outward actions, but one who is genuinely lazy, who does not become involved with objectivity. The jiva has the habit of engaging in some activity all the time. What has to be done and for whose sake? To do something is of the nature of body consciousness. Illusion means our ideas or concepts. There is a proverb that says, "He started worshiping God when he was tired of doing things." If you reject all that is untrue, then you become God. To say that I ought to do this or that and manage this or that, I will become rich, and then I will become a saint and start acting differently, is all an indication of illusion. So leave things as they are. If you meddle, your body consciousness only gets increased. You always feel that you ought to do something. This is the obstruction for attaining the state of the Siddha and absolute reality. When you are not the body, then why all of this useless thinking about wealth or poverty? All is untrue. And why this unnecessary query about what has not happened? To not do anything is godhood. We say, remain quiet like God. But what is actually done is that we indulge our body consciousness. To not worry about anything and to be at peace is called Om Shanti. This is my blessing to you all.